Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you are new here, hello and welcome. I am Hannah, a mum of 4 ranging from 17 years down to a 4-year-old, and we live as a family of 6 in the southeast of England. This video I'm showing you today is what we classed as the house from hell, okay? I know before we go any further in this property, I know there are properties worse off than this, okay? I get that. But when we moved into this rented property in late November, beginning of December 2024, we did not sign up for the hell we spent in this property for a year, okay? As you saw when we walked in the porch, that was all perfect until 2 months in, until we moved in. This room we're looking around now was meant to be a front room, but we actually used it as a bedroom for my eldest daughter. But halfway through the year, we had to put my other daughter in this room because her bedroom was a whole different kettle of fish. So you are seeing the state of all the walls once we had moved all our furniture out of the property. This video was taken a week after we had moved out. There was a moisture problem and we was fighting it with the landlord, and they kept saying it was down to having 2 people sleep in that bedroom that was causing all that moisture. You can see on that wall right in front of you now the moisture coming in through the wall. The amount of furniture we had to throw away when we pulled it away from that wall was disgusting. It was disgusting. We had water problems from the moment I signed the tenancy agreement. Literally, I signed it, and within half hour, while the estate agent was still there, buckets of water flooded through the ceiling into the cupboard, into my bedroom. Look, you can see the moisture on the wall there. Mould above the windows and that wall. But yeah, so from that moment, we had issues. We had rats in the loft over Christmas. This door never locked, as you can see. It just never catched, never shut. The door was bowed. From the bottom, it was like a centimetre away. There was a leak above the bathroom door, as you can see there. We had to have one of my daughter's chest of drawers in the hallway, and it leaked and ruined the chest of drawers. They said there was too much condensation in the bathroom, and we was going to have a magic extractor fan fitted, as you can see at the bottom of the screen just then. That magic extractor fan was going to remove all the condensation that was being produced. I had every single window open every day, and 2 dehumidifiers running 24/7. And even when that was all happening, look at all that black mold. Disgusting. And I cleaned that every month, and it kept coming back. The builders were saying it was because of the plumbers and the electricians keep going in the loft and moving the insulation, so there was patches of mold on the roof. But that's a load of cock and bull. This is my son's bedroom, my oldest son, who had a room. He got woken up by leakage from the loft on him during the night when there was rain and snow. It was coming through the roof, through the loft insulation, and leaking on him. Right? That is disgusting. These walls we cleaned. I'm showing you the loft now. Where you can see those marks on there, that's where the water was coming through on him. We had arguments with the landlord, with the estate agents. I don't think there was a week that went past where we didn't have to call the estate agent because there was a problem. Okay, the cooker didn't shut properly, so the heat was escaping and causing damage to the cupboards. You know what the estate agent said? It said, don't use the oven. Well, how am I going to cook food? It was just as well I had air fryers and I didn't use that oven very often. But what was I meant to do? I had a family of 6 to feed. Don't use the oven. You see all the mould in the cupboards? I cleaned these thoroughly before we moved in. And they had a cleaner come in as well. But there was just so much moisture in the air, and you will see in a minute where all that moisture is coming from, or come from. They thought the extractor fan when I was cooking was a problem. So they got someone round to fix the fan. Look how bodged it was put back on. It wasn't put on straight when it got put back. The mastic either side of it, he scratched the roof, like the ceiling. This is all the bowing from the heat and the moisture. And plus half that was there already anyway before we moved in. The spotlights, they had to be replaced because they were broken. So the builder they got to come in, done it, and then look how he left it. Every spotlight was like that. And you know the most disgusting thing? He pulled one out the ceiling and rat crap fell out with it onto my kitchen side. Yeah. The loft was riddled with rat, feces and wee, right? The exterminator told the landlord the whole insulation and loft needed to be ripped out. It was dangerous. Did the landlord do it? Did he heck? He just said don't go in the loft. Now, this room was my front room we used, right? So all that black was growing behind my TV. I cleaned that weekly, and I cleaned that wall just before, like when we were moving out, I cleaned that wall, and we came back a week later, and it was back. This room we're walking into was my youngest daughter's bedroom, right? You can see on the walls, right along the walls, that is moisture and water coming in from the outside, right? We had bought her a brand new bed before we moved in, and we had to get rid of it because her bed was soaking. That whole wall, right? The reason there was lilac there was a cupboard there. They ripped that out. It was soaking. The carpet was rotten. You can see all along there. It was dangerous for her to live in that room. So we had to pull her out and put her in with her sister. They got 2 builders round to do 2 different types of job, which you will see when we go out in the garden. And they said, oh, it's fixed, it's fixed. Well, obviously it wasn't, because the builders have done their work. There's still a problem. That wall there that you're looking at is an internal wall. That is the wall between the bedroom and the front room that we just walked through. How wrong is that? There is a breach in the damp-proof course. Yeah. We were saying that the whole time we were there. It was by electrical plugs. It was an internal wall. And they thought extractor fans, and we was producing too much too much moisture. Yeah. We was producing it. And we had major problems with the landlord. It was a multi-millionaire that lived up in Brighton. He bought this property on auction. He saw it once in the summer, thought he'd buy it because he owned the fields out back. And what he planned on doing was holding on to this property for 3 years, renting it out and earning from it until then, until he's got planning permission to build out back. Didn't realise there was going to be so many problems, right? Well, more fool him. More fool him. The agency kept saying, oh, well, he's invested £15,000, £20,000 now and he's not going to invest any more. He wants you out. Well, trust us, darling, we're looking to get out. The amount of furniture, stress, anxiety, worry we had living in this property, just waiting for the next thing to go wrong, you know? This is my bedroom now, where I had Nathan. You see all that patch on the ceiling? That was another leak in my bedroom, next to my bed, onto my chest of drawers. That whole wall was wet. And you can see down there, more wet. The wall had blown. It was by a plug socket. These curtains were theirs, so we didn't do nothing with them. And they got a roofer round, or 3 roofers, 2 roofers said the whole roof needs ripping off and replacing. They went with the cheapest quote, which was resurface the flat roof above my utility room, and that will fix the problem. Well, guess what? It didn't. It did not fix the problem. It looked better because summer came. Right, summer came. But as soon as winter started coming, it started getting worse again. Yep, but they weren't going to listen. This is the airing cupboard pantry sort of thing. This is where the water pissed through, sorry, mind my language, peed through the ceiling. There's all that. When I signed the tenancy agreement, buckets gushed out that ceiling down. And all they done was told me to plug a dehumidifier in there and it will dry it out. Right, yeah, right, did it. We had an ant infestation in there. Rats were above our bedroom. And I mean, they were like cats and dogs up in that loft. We thought we had cats and dogs up there. Over Christmas, you could hear them scurrying around. It was disgusting. If I've got photos still on my phone of what the pesticide man sent me, I will insert them. But look at them with a strong stomach. This is the utility room. You can see all the black mould and the moisture. This is because there was a flat roof above this pit, and it was pooling up there. It wasn't going away. Sorry about that, guys. Nathan wanted me. So yeah, this is the utility room. There was a flat roof on there. None of these problems were visible when we moved in. They all just came at us within the first couple of months of moving there. So we had the stress of it over Christmas. Moving in, we had just lost our beloved dog Shadow, and we had to deal with this. That is a pump that had to hang out of that window, so I couldn't shut that window, and had to have it plugged in 24/7, which was costing us our electricity, to suck away any water from rain, because it used to flood with the slightest bit of rain. It used to flood and come in above the slabs and into the back door. Yep, it was really, really bad. But all the landlord would say was keep the pump on and just try and move out if you can. So we did. We kept looking for properties. In that toilet was how the rats were getting in. Yeah. You could lift that up and there was all rat droppings and everything. It was disgusting. We're out in the back garden now, and you can see all the cables that the builder put there and the pump wire, and look at his decent work. He concreted it in like that. He concreted around the whole box so water couldn't get to the damn pump. He had to come back after we pointed it out and drill holes through the concrete. This is where a pond was. Cowboy builders came. They were going to make it all level and put some nice gravel on there. No, they put hardcore on there. We found screws, nails, glass. It was disgusting. So I planted my potato pots on there. And Easter weekend, when we were planting them, we found this. It is a huge wired, like a cable. I'm clearing it out so you can see it a bit better. I first found it and I fell over it. So didn't realise it was live, so I tried burying it and tucking it down. It wasn't until it started raining we heard sparks, and Shane came out and said, "Mum, all the power's gone off." So Steve went in and turned it on, tripped the switch and turned it all back on, and that cable was sparking. Nathan was standing about 30 centimetres away from it. I was standing next to it. I grabbed Nate and ran in with him. Steve came out and saw it sparking. It kept tripping the switches in the house. This whole area flooded, by the way. It was like a bog. We couldn't use it. So Steve rang the estate agent and they said, well, we won't be able to get an electrician out until next week, so put a bucket over it. Not a, oh my God, I'm so sorry, your son could have been dead, or electricity, you know, because that wire was plugged and, well, not plugged, it was wired into the mains. That's what wound us up. It was wired into the mains. So the builders that came and removed that pond just cut the cable. It was disgusting. This is what the builders done to try and sort out the damp-proof coursing. They dug a hole, well, the first builder did, dug a hole, put some piping down there and filled it with gravel. Well, that didn't work. That's my daughter's bedroom with the main issue. Then a second builder came, redug that, painted it with tar, filled it back with gravel, put that echo drain in, and then concreted it. Put some water butts in to try and catch the excess water off the roof, but it didn't work, obviously. And we thought it was working, the walls are drying out. But again, it was summer, so we didn't get much rain. But autumn came, so did the rain and the wet lot and the cold weather. So out came the problems again. The landlord did not care. And he still doesn't care, because this property is still empty now that we've moved out. And like I said at the beginning, I know there are properties worse off than this. And I know there are families going through a lot more than what we did. And I feel so sorry for you guys. But I wanted to show you what we was paying, $1,700 to live at this property. Nathan developed asthma. Chloe was doing her GCSEs at this time, and it was a hell. 3 children with autism living in this house, not knowing where they could go and where they couldn't. You know, whether rats were going to get down in a cupboard or pop up from the toilet, we just didn't know. But I am sorry this video took a long time coming, and I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I wanted to show you what we had to be living in for a year in our house from hell. But now, thank God, we're in our own property.